One way you feel blessed is when you find out that your partner does things so right, even when you don't even ask. It makes you feel seen, it makes you feel blessed, make you feel like your prayers is being answered. Because this person knows you and hits the core even when you didn't ask for that. Today's video is going to explore and tell you those things women secretly wish that you know, and they don't know how to ask you to do that, because a man who would sit you down to ask you, please, I want you to be this loving to me, that romantic to me, do it this way, that way. No, it doesn't come naturally. So they wish you know this naturally, but if you don't know it or you don't have a clue, this video is going to take you through to understand where she stands, what she like, and how she like it. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ifi Likano. On this channel, we talk about self-improvement, things we're not taught in school, but life has a way of, playing them out for us. On today's video, we are going to talk about those things that women love to see you do but do not know how to ask you. Number one I'm going to talk about is vulnerability. Vulnerable. I understand that we live in a society where a man is expected to always be strong, always show that he's unbreakable. But this is not even realistic to think about that, because men are human. They get hurt, they have emotions, and if they were created not to show weakness or anything they have assumed, then they wouldn't have given one. If I break a man with a knife, he's going to bleed blood. If I break a woman with a knife, she's going to bleed blood. What it simply means that we are all human. A society where we hear things like, I never seen a man cry until I see a man die. I don't know where they bring all that from. The truth of the matter is that she secretly wants you to come back home to communicate, to talk about those things. If you can be in a relationship with someone you can't be vulnerable with, then why would you be with that person to begin with? The beautiful thing is that you come back home and you relate with this special person you have chosen out of multitude of millions of people. And it's okay for sometimes you lean on other people, because we are human beings who are created to lean. We lean on each other, and that's how we bond. And because you know that you are vulnerable, this would actually help you in choosing the kind of person that you can be with. You don't just have to be with anyone, because sometimes I get it that sometimes people can use our vulnerability as a weapon against us. I get it. But this is more reason why when you are choosing the partner you want to spend your time with, you don't go choosing them by how they look physically. You may want to choose them by how they look physically, but always pay attention on the combination of both how they look physically and how they look on the inside. Someone you can feel comfortable to talk to, someone you can feel okay to put yourself out and say, this is exactly who I am, take me for who I am. So vulnerability bonds relationship, bring couple together beyond what you think or can ever imagine. It has this magical thing that makes both of you real, original, make you both feel that we are us, this is us. Make you feel like your problem is my problem is your problem, we can heal that together. If you have gotten to this level of intimacy with any human being, then you are blessed. I remember one time life was treating my husband so badly, and he came back home that night weak, tired. He has done everything he knows how to do. So he came back home. I hugged him and he broke down. I get it. I broke down. I held him. We talked about this. I told him everything I thought I know about the consequences and the situations and how it's time for him to let it go. And I think we have to live in this moment and watch how things work out. We both cried, and this, on a very deep level, bonded us back together more than we can ever be. Now, being vulnerable in a relationship is not weakness. It's not. It is okay for you to be vulnerable with your partner. And she also longs that you are, because when you are, she knows that she is significant to you. She means something to you, that she is someone you would want to talk to when you have problems. It doesn't always have to be you running to the boys to tell them what you're going through. You will have a woman right in the house and you chose her for something she would want you to be vulnerable with her. And oftentimes, this is not weakness. It is okay to say, I am tired. That thing a woman would want or would not ask is assurance. Now, I'm going to talk about this thing because, when relationship starts, men usually know the right thing to do. They know when to call you right, say the right thing, send you an SMS, do all the right things. They keep doing those things until they feel that they own you. Then why does it suddenly die? Where did those moments go? Now, women are wishing that you continue doing this assurance thing. You assure her that she's yours. You assure her that she's still beautiful. You assure her that she hasn't changed from the day you met her to this moment. She needs it. And because there is this lack of assurance, that's why oftentimes she wants to check out your phone. She wants to ask you, who is that you're talking with on the phone? Because she's not just sure of her position where you are. Now, let me say this. Have you ever been in a relationship where you have this security that they are fine wherever they are? You don't have the need to question their movement because you know that their ultimate interest is not to do anything bad or wrong in the relationship. Yeah? Relationship can transit to that level of huge trust. And this trust thing is possible mostly in communication. So if you guys are the type who communicate about everything, talk about things, every tiny part of it, and then you find out that the communications are honest, chances are that trust will be heading up in that relationship big time. But when in a situation when trust is not just there or things are not just so right, it is okay for you to keep reassuring the person you love that you love them. I think one of the problems we face today in relationship is not being sure where we stand with our partner. Does she or he really still love me the way they do? Is it still crazy for me like how it used to be? Now, reassurance are those things she would not ask you to do for her, but she really, really wish you know these things and have a way to assure her. These are the men that we love so much. Have a way to assure her that things hasn't changed, that you see her. She has to feel seen in relationship. That invisibility is what she keeps fighting in so many different things. She fight about it in the person she didn't trust you with. She fight about it in the communications you both were having that wasn't so sure for her. She just wants that reassurance. Don't worry. This does not mean anything. You are still my woman. You've never changed from the moment I met you to this moment. Nothing has ever changed. I still see you the same way you are. You are still that beautiful woman. You are still, in fact, every day you get sweeter, better, like an old wine. You know what I'm saying? She feels beautiful with these words, and she will want you to keep doing these things for her. Another part is noticing the tiny little things. I remember a friend of mine who came to me telling me that my husband has never noticed that I've changed my hair. He has never noticed that I'm wearing a new kind of dress. He just sees me. Like, does he even see me? She was asking me. I'm not in a good position to answer that question. So she felt invisible. Here, I said it again. She felt not being seen. When you notice the tiny things that your woman does, she wouldn't ask you to do these things, but she wished you know that she has changed her lip color, she has changed her hair, she has manicured and pedicure, she bought a new clothes. It means that you are following up, you are still admiring her like you did before. She wants, imagine not seeing her, imagine not just noticing. Even sometimes when you don't notice these things, some of them will come up to ask, didn't you see my new hair? Are you not seeing that I just did the hair? Are you not seeing my nails? Do you like this color of my nails? You know those things. Because you wish you see these tiny things. And these tiny things has nothing to do with money. Just see them. Look at the nails and say, okay, this color is better than the one you did last time. I think I see. Because secretly, deep inside of her, she's doing this for you. She's doing it for you. She wants you to see it and like it. So you can actually look at her nails and say, okay, I like this color. This is better than the one you did last time. Or the one you did last time is better than this one. Why don't you try yellow next time? You know what I'm saying? Just make her feel that You are paying attention. Your eye is there. You are seeing her. She is seen. She is visible. Now, another one is that you need to be telling your woman that she is still beautiful. In a society where a woman age and everything around her is being tagged into beauty, she wants you to always affirm that she's still beautiful, at least in your own eyes, because you are that special someone she practically wants to do everything for, and she wants you to see. The reassurance that she's still beautiful helps her. And if she's not, there are so many other ways you can refocus on that. I understand that sometimes maybe after childbirth or some things in life, people gain weight and they change. And if that situation happens, you can still, if you want to bring them back to what they are or what you wish them to be, there are ways you can use words to paint this thing so beautiful. You can remind them how beautiful they used to be before and how nothing has ever changed about them from the inside out they are, but you wish that they could work on their body or maybe reduce some calorie for health purposes. Make sure for health purposes, so you don't just drag someone into trying to attain a particular beauty regime just to break herself more. If she really wants to work on herself to be beautiful, encourage her on that aspect. But please, always find a way to reassure her that she's still beautiful, because she wishes you to know these things. And there's no way it sounds good for her to just sit you down to tell you, I want you to be telling me that I'm beautiful. But if she can't, it doesn't even sound sane. So for her, she wishes you know that she is, and tell her that. Now, when you tell her that, you have killed something in her psyche. Something has changed in her emotions. It does not mean that she doesn't know, or she does not have to know by herself. It means that the person she values so much is seeing something that she's seen and reassuring her that she's so beautiful. And sometimes, and most often, the real beauty has nothing to do with how we look on the physical. It has so much to do with who we are on the inside and how beautiful we look on the inside. So you find a way to reassure her that she's beautiful, because from the first time you met her, you found something in her that you love. So keep on that, because relationship is about healing, bonding, bringing each other together, or for the best of both of you. I'm going to talk about this one, and it is staying romantic. You know what I'm saying? It's not just being romantic during the dating days or wonder. I mean, staying romantic. Like, do you know how beautiful it looks when you see a 60-year, 50-year, 40-year-old people still bond in love? Like, it gives hope to people who wish to fall in love. When you see them in love, it simply means that you are being romantic by the way you handle things around her. So she wishes deeply that you keep staying romantic. You don't change, you don't wither. You continue doing that all the time, holding her in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? The romantic aspect of your relationship will not die. You keep staying in that spot. And for her, it means a lot. So one of the things that drives her into you is knowing that you are still staying romantically involved with her. You know what? This rejuvenates her. Even you, I love watching romantic couples, and not just newly married couples who are romantic, because obviously that is really expected of them. I mean, older people who have been in 15 years, 20 years, 25-year-old marriage and still romantic. For me, is one of the most beautiful things to behold. I love that. It gives me a whole lot of hope. And when I see them, I love to sit them down to ask them about what exactly, tell me, how did you guys meet? And I want to have that kind of conversation with them. How do you guys meet? What has been the trigger? Have you guys fought? How do you make up after fight? Those kind of things, So, staying romantic is one attribute and one trait she would want you to do, and she might not ask you to. Okay, let me say this thing. Most often, men mostly forget anniversaries and birthdays. I've noticed this one, not just in one man, 2, 3, 4. I mean, multiple men do not remember anniversaries and birthdays. And hello, we want you to start remembering anniversaries and birthdays. Please, These days matters to us. These days are important to us. Wake up to start realizing that, oh honey, 23rd is our anniversary. For the 9th year in my marriage, my husband has never for one day remembered our anniversary. It's always me talking about it. In fact, if I don't even talk about it, he's fine with it. Like, seriously, there's nothing biggie about it for him. If you don't talk about it, that's okay. But I want to talk about it. I want to have a romantic treat on that day. I want us to reassure ourselves about how far we have gone, how far we have been. Like, discuss our big and little wins, talk about those things. But that's not his cup of tea. But I understand that that doesn't mean that he do not value what we have. I get it. But we wish you remember our birthdays now and our anniversaries. These are the things we wish you do. And if you do it, it means that you are paying attention. These little things, how beautiful they look and sound. The first time you say, oh, do you remember that 23rd of November is our anniversary? I say, oh, yeah. You remember, oh, my God, how time flies. Look at today. This is 21. We say like that. Then from there, we talk about how we met. Do you remember how we met? How you were just saying these things to me? Because I like recounting our first meetings. I can say that 20th, 50th time. I say that all the time because there's something beautiful when you say these things, when you try to recount how you guys met, what he said to you. Then I used to ask him, do you remember the clothes I was wearing? Because I still remember the clothes we were wearing and how he talked to me and everything he said. Yes. So, trying to remember the birthdays and the anniversaries are one other beautiful part that we would want you to remember, but will not ask you to. This one is about being in the kitchen and having your husband be there with you, cook with you, talk with you, laugh with you. We wish that if we move to the kitchen sector, that he joins us in that place. We talk there, we discuss things, we cook, we take little pieces of things we talk about. These things should be forever thing. This thing shouldn't just be the earliest time we got married. This thing shouldn't be the things that dies off because we start having children. These things are supposed to continue happening every day of our lives. So you moving to the kitchen with me, stay in the kitchen while I cook, we talk, we share things I'm cooking with, and then laugh in the kitchen. Even sometimes eat in the kitchen is one beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I remember my uncle that got married to 3 wives. During the time they were aging, as in really aging, he started getting so close to the first wife. For some unknown reason, we don't know why, and he was just getting close. And in the midst, if you understand polygamous setting in Africa, women lived in the same house with a man. So obviously, this man will wake up in the morning, go to her, sit with her in the kitchen, things I've never ever seen most men do at the time growing up. So I remember sitting back to think about it and love the sight that at the old age, this guy will sit in the kitchen with this woman. I'm not talking about 20, I'm talking about 25, 30 years of marriage. Sit in the kitchen with this woman and they talk, gist and laugh. And we all see these things. And then I was wondering, this could be love. Tiny little things. She will not ask you to do that to her, but she will wish you know. In fact, when you ask people to do these tiny things with you, the beauty fades. So it's not something you need to ask them to do with you. It's something you wish they know how to do with you and do it with you. I hope you write all these traits down of the things she would love, but she can't ask you. Write it down, please. Write them down and always put them into consideration when you are relating with them. The tiny little part of things are the most grandiose things I've ever seen in our lives. Laughing together, bonding together, cooking together, reassuring love, being romantic, being loving generally. And you know what they say? If you want it, you do it, because what you give is what comes back to you. If this video is exactly what you like, why don't you go ahead and click on the subscription button, like these videos, so that more people will be recommended to watch this video. Thank you.